chance. Get to know me. There's a new Marvel out that's supposed to be nuts. We should go see that.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. Today we are talking about Friendship. This film is written and directed by Andrew DeYoung, and it stars Paul Rudd, Tim Robinson, and Kate Mara. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Andrew DeYoung's feature film directorial debut. I know he's directed a lot of TV episodes and some TV specials and a short film, but if I'm not mistaken, this is his first feature film. This movie is ultimately about Tim Robinson's character forming a friendship with Paul Rudd's character through a tone and vibe that just seems eerie, dark, and weird, but just is absolutely hilarious to live in. And diving into the review, I think whether or not you find this movie funny is going to be hugely dependent on if you like Tim Robinson's comedy. If you do, this movie's right up your alley, and I find his comedy very funny, and I thought that his performance, he is kind of playing a character that he's similar to playing in other performances he's given, but that is by no means a bad thing in this scenario. It works perfectly for the tone and the story they're telling, and the audience I saw this with were all dying, laughing hysterically, me included. This is an incredibly funny movie. And it's a unique comedy as well. It's not shot or edited the same way as most comedy films are. I mean, this is an A24 film, and it does feel that way. But, it being so well made is almost part of the joke as to why the movie works so well. And the screenplay itself also, just the way that it sets up jokes without you realizing it's set up, and the way that it just kind of has these deadpan lines but performs in a way that's very upbeat and uplifting is just really off-puttingly funny. And the chemistry between Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson is immaculate. I could watch these two all day long together. Such a great duo, such a hilarious movie. Kate Mara also gives a great performance, and I don't think there's a bad performance in the movie, to be honest. Going into my negatives of the film, I do think that there are some bits that go a little bit too long without going long enough to become funny again. So there are some bits that kind of just leave you wanting more from them. The film also, in the second act, it's paced a little bit oddly to where the movie starts with a pretty strong direction and then it just kind of aims directionless for a little bit. And it kind of pulls it back together towards the beginning of the third act into something. But I do think that the actual ending of the film was a little bit dissatisfying and out of nowhere. The movie does have kind of this dark thing to say about expectations of male friendships, especially if you're somebody who, isn't the typical extrovert in a way that Tim Robinson's character clearly isn't. And that is interesting in its own right, but it's something that you really kind of have to fish for when you're watching the movie. It's not something that really hits you emotionally. And yes, I know this is a comedy, but that doesn't mean it can't have any emotional depth. And while it attempts to have some, and it does have some, it doesn't quite hit you on the level that you hoped it would with what it was setting up. But again, I want to emphasize, there are like 5 or 6 jokes and moments in the movie where I could not breathe. I was laughing so hard. So even while the film has some disappointing elements, overall, this is an incredibly fun time, an incredibly funny movie. I'm likely going to watch it again, but also, just to kind of take it back to what I said at the beginning, if you're not a fan of Tim Robinson's comedy, you will likely not find the film funny. It is a bit dependent on that. However, the script and the direction is perfectly set up for Tim Robinson and that type of comedy. Like, he's perfectly cast within the role. If it were anybody else, the film wouldn't work at all, which is part of the magic of it. Overall, I recommend Friendship. I recommend going to see it in theaters, especially if you have a packed house and people can enjoy a nice comedy on the big screen. It's a really great time. Has its flaws for me. It's not, going to be a top 10 of the film of the year or anything, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a good time. I hope you do as well. And once you've seen it, what did you think of Friendship? I'd love to see your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next review.